Good morning. Happy November. Nice crisp fall morning with a little bit of an earthquake to get us going this one. No, you didn't? I thought it was a 3.6. Oh, no, it was right about 9 o'clock this morning. Yeah. Oh, were there several today? Oh. Oh, God, don't do that. My wife does that. What time is it really today? It's really what it says on the clock. Yeah, that's the one I'm in. Yeah, it was 3.62. Yeah. Well, you missed it. Anyway, my name's Scott. I'll be your host for the next couple of minutes. Actually, for the next several minutes. We have a lot of announcements. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. And we always start our service by honoring the land on which we are located. The Eureka Center for Spiritual Living acknowledges that the land on which we gather is the ancestral territory of the Wiyot peoples. This territory extends to the communities through most of Humboldt County, and we honor the Wiyot peoples today. All right, we want to remind everybody to silence their telephones. We also want to thank Lori again, for wherever Lori moved to, for doing the meditation. Lori, there you are. You're sitting over there this time. So let's see what we have going. We are all going together to say, and on the second half of this, because I'm going to explain there's some events coming up. I like when it's the first of the month to give you a little bit of trivia. So at the end where it says, I honor the path that brought you here this morning. Incidentally, good morning, Zoomers. I honor the path. All you're going to do is turn to somebody and say, hello. And there's a reason why, and I'll explain that in just a couple of seconds, because there's an important holiday coming up this month. But say it with love and enthusiasm. So together we say the top part. We are a welcoming community where the vibration of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, and the science of mind teaching empowers us. And turn to somebody and say, hello. See if you can do it with 10 people. Hello. Hello. Now there is a reason for this silliness. Several things take place in November. Birthdays, Marie Curie was born November 7th, 1867. Mark Twain, November 30th, 1835. Carl Sagan, November 9th, 1934. Voltaire, my very favorite cynic, was born November 21st, 1697. My favorite quotation of all time is from him. God is a comedian playing to an audience that's afraid to laugh. Yeah, absolutely love that. Yeah. And then Daniel Boone was born November 2nd, 1734. On November 1st, 1512, Michelangelo's iconic work on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel was revealed. On November 2nd, 1962, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, JFK announced on TV that the Soviet bases in Cuba are now being dismantled, their missiles and related equipment being created, and the fixed installation of these sites are being destroyed. So we got by a big one then. November 3rd, 57, the very first living being was launched into space. So today's the 3rd, isn't it? And that living being was a dog named Laika, and Sputnik 2, yeah. And November 4th, 1951, Donna Landry was born. Another great date in history. And November 9th, 1989, the Berlin Wall came down. So those are some things. November 19th is Discovery of Puerto Rico Day. Figured we need to give them some love this week. Here's the fun ones. These are the silly ones. I love to find these. November 6th is Zero Tasking Day.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Zero Tasking Day is celebrated, it's today, is celebrated on the first Sunday in November every year, so it's today. While setting our clocks back, we are all tempted to get a few tasks in, so Zero Tasking Day today encourages us to dedicate those free minutes to ourselves by enjoying peace and quiet while appreciating our environment and life. So you are tasked with that today. November 16th is National Button Day. Button, like little buttons here. In 1250, In 1250, the Button Makers Guild was established in France. It was the first collective that designed artisan buttons, making buttons a status symbol. And then 50 years later, in 1300, the church denounced buttons. What? Yeah, I was about to give that, yeah. Let's see here. Europe was so button crazy at the time, the church started calling them the devil's snare. And this was probably because most women's clothing at the time buttoned up the front. Okay, so it's... Yeah, how about that? November 23rd is Fibonacci Day. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. What was it? Fibonacci? Okay, Fibonacci, also known as Leonardo of Pisa and Leonardo Fibonacci. Leonardo Bonacci invented a pattern of counting that continues to influence math and technology today. So why is 1123 that day? Because it's 1, 1, 2, 3. First two numbers equal the third number. The second and third number equal the fourth number. The fourth and fifth number equal the sixth number, and so it goes. And that's a pattern that is found all through the world in computing, stock trading, architecture, and design. It's in DNA, and it is called by some nature's secret code. But as for why all the hellos, because November 21st is World Hello Day. World Hello Day is an unofficial holiday celebrated on November 21st by 180 countries to illustrate the importance of personal communication for preserving peace. On this day, people are encouraged to participate by simply greeting 10 people. A World Hello Day was created in 1973 by Arizona State graduate student Brian McCormack and Harvard graduate Michael McCormack as a direct response to the Arab-Israeli War, officially known as the Yom Kippur War. So now you have the month of November lined out, including some birthdays. Sure, you can have one.
November 12th is the day that Ty's spirit went home to be with spirit.
Yeah, I remember that. And this is the month of your wedding, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's also
All right.
the month of the wedding.
I'm going to move, all right. I've been told don't take too many comments, but if they're really quick.
Indigenous Peoples' Day.
Okay, Indigenous people, wasn't that in October?
No, I'm sorry, it's Native American Day.
Okay, there we go.
Sharon Brady's birthday's on November 3rd.
And we'll do the birthdays at the end of the service too. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got going now that I've wasted enough time. Here's announcements for the week. All these events are coming up here. You can get these by being on Reverend Angelica's newsletter, which you can do by giving your email address out front. There is a card that you can use. Let's see here. Weekly, we've got the highway cleanup. Max, you said you wanted to say something quickly about the cleanup? Yeah, you could, or we can bring it down there. Probably easier to have you come up here.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Well, we have our highway cleanup coming up this coming Saturday. We've been doing this for, 30 years approximately. It's an amazing tradition. And we meet at the Hole in the Wall in Arcata, which is 6th and G at 9 o'clock in the morning. And if you're interested in joining us, it takes an hour and a half. And you wear sturdy shoes and, and if it rains, we don't do it. And James, if you can contact James, and there's also an announcement in the Angelica's newsletter, and you can contact me today, or you can text me, and that information is in the newsletter. Let's see, what else? Okay, there's nothing else. There's no questions? Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Max. Next up, men's meeting. That will be the 9th, this coming Saturday. Edward leads that. Edward is not here, but there is a sign-up sheet, I believe, on the table if you are a man, and you, amen, and so it is, and you would like to be part of it, please put your name, and it's Saturday, I think it's 3 to 5. We have that. Crafternoon will be the next Friday. Bring crafts, have fun, help make peace cranes.
Well, I don't want them to
bring their own crafts.
Oh, not this time, I see
We
that.
want to make peace crayons.
That would be
Put in
good.
here.
To celebrate peace. Okay, that would be a fun thing to do.
That's beautiful, that rainbow.
Yeah,
Isn't that pretty?
and that's Friday, okay. And then that night is first night at the North Coast Repertory Theater, where my play premieres. Well, my play with a whole bunch of other people helping me, but I'm the director, called The Games Afoot, a festive holiday comedic murder mystery romp, a Sherlock Holmes type story. This is where I will be for the next 2 solid weeks. It is, in all modesty, there is a scene in when it's a murder, so there's going to be a body, just so you're aware of that. And there is a scene when they're trying to deal with the body that is, we had a special choreographer come in to help us with this scene, and between that and the talent of this cast, you will laugh so hard your sides will hurt. So it's, because nothing says humor like murders. So that, but anyway, the way it works is the center gets a discount if you sign up. We have the correct amount to get the discount now, but please put your name on the list, and then you will pay me either this week or next week while I am holding the clipboard, please. Because otherwise I end up, sounds like a terrible problem, but I end up with all this money, and I don't know who it's from. So I need to be able to check off that you've got it. If you would also like to go to dinner at 6 o'clock that night, that will be, who's handling that? Is that you? Angelica's handling that, and you're all going to meet at the Mexican restaurant, Chapala's, thank you. Any questions on that? I'm sorry, what? Oh, it's going to be, it's normally 20 and 18 for general and seniors, and now it's 18 and 16. So you save a couple of dollars, and the theater will really appreciate you, as will I. Okay, we have also got Art with Louise. Art, you wanted to make a quick comment? Louise, did you say you wanted to make a quick comment?
Hello. I wanted to talk about this today because next week I will not be here, and the week after that it'll be over. So I'm teaching a class called Origami, and it is Japanese watercolor postcards. Very, very simple, very easy. I have a few supply lists on the table, so if you are interested, that way you'll have them. And we will also have you will have an opportunity to make a chop, also called a hanko. And that is a little stamp where you know those little stamps? So, and that'll be super fun. So that's part of the class as well. So I hope you show up. We'll have a good time, no matter who shows up.
A Hanko?
Hanko, a
Hanko?
Hanko.
Not to be confused with
Some
a,
people don't know what a chop is.
okay, I don't know what either of those are. I know what a cankle is, but I hope we're not making cankles. No, yeah, that's like a very. Where's the cane? Decoration giveaway, a reminder, Angelica's potluck, let's deal with that. That's November 28th. I thought you weren't doing one. You decided you were going to do it. Okay.
No, we're not doing it as a church.
Oh, I see.
I'm
It's
doing
just-
it on Thanksgiving Day.
Gotcha. So that's here, November 28th, noon to however long the festivities go. Please, again, sign up at the side table. Decoration giveaway, we need volunteers. Thank you, Catherine, for already jumping in. We need more people to help get the word out. We need people to staff the event. That's all very important to us. What we do is we just collect ornaments and just give them away. That's it. No obligation. People come and get ornaments, and it's a wonderful feeling because all these people who come by, a lot of them can't afford to get the ornaments, or they lost ornaments, or so that will be December 7th. What was that? Oh, yeah, that's true. We've had, so some of the questions that have come up, people have donated holiday cards. They have donated wall designs. We've had trees. We've had those great big giant inflatable, it's my definition of an inflatable guy. You name it. This entire social hall will be filled with holiday goodies.
I got a box of Christmas stuff, but I cannot bring it because I walk from my house
Okay.
to here, and I need somebody to come and get it.
Wonderful. And we take any donations that are clean and in working order. Good. Thank you, Donna. So please spread the word also. The bookstore, All November sale is 50% off. Our bookstore is open incidentally Mondays from noon to 3 for sure,
Not for the next 2 Mondays.
except for the next 2 Mondays. I was lying about that to see if somebody would pay attention. But the bookstore, 50% off. And I think that's it for the announcements. As we go into, the little pantry, I'm sorry. A reminder to please feed the little pantry. As we go into our theme for this month, Forever Grateful, I wanted to take a moment and acknowledge the 3,000-pound elephant that's sitting in the center of the room, which is Tuesday, Election Day. And I just wanted to take a moment, since I have the platform, and speak to the fact that I think a lot of us are very nervous, very hopeful, some scared, everybody anticipating what's going on. I know it's been consuming me a lot, and I just wanted to do a brief treatment for Election Day. Oh, you're going to do that? Then I'm not going to do that. I'm going to assign that over to Angelica. I'm glad you were going to do that. I didn't know if somebody was going to do that. But I will say that I know that the greatest good is happening on Tuesday. That I do know. And we just have to get out and do our part. Okay, so I will turn that over now instead to Michele, who will do our moment of peace, and then we'll turn it over to Angelica.
Hello. Let's keep it going. Yeah, I found this reading from Ernest Holmes, and I thought it goes a little bit with the anticipation of the political scene next week. So I thought it was a good one, and it also goes with being grateful. So I'll read this, and then we'll have a moment of silence to reflect, and then Jackson will play us into the opening invocation to the service. So if you just allow yourself to just sit back, take a couple of breaths, and just be here now. The bright and happy tomorrows we dream of must not be thought of as though the imagination conceived them to be something that is about to take place. Rather, they must become a part of our mental acceptance of today, in which we live. There is no better time than now. I believe in living while we live. Let your soul sing the song of today, and tomorrow's song will be sweeter. and knowing that this perfect peace is a part of each and every one of us, that it flows through us as light, as peace, as divine connection with Spirit. And I know as we move out into the world today and in this coming week, that we are balanced, that we are whole, that we project the peace and the perfectness that we want to see embodied in our world. And I know that this service is an embodiment of that perfection. And I know that as we move into the words that Reverend Angelica has to say today, that we are all filled with the gratitude and the love of Spirit. And so I let this service unfold in its right and perfect way. And so it is.
Be still and know that faith has made us whole. Renewed are we in spirit and in soul. The light of truth within shines forth that we may see. Perfect peace is ours
And just to let you know that the ofrenda will be up for a couple of weeks if you didn't bring pictures in that you wanted to have on the altar, and we'll take it down the third week. So, I'll-
Thank you for doing it, Michele.
Yes.
oh yeah, thanks.
Good morning, everyone. And good morning, Zoomers. I think that during our treatment at the end of the talk, we'll do a moment of silence for everyone. And if you forgot to bring a picture, you could always bring it next week. I know I was planning to do it, but then forgot. So those of you who get my Friday message know that I was speaking, or I wrote last Friday about the idea that in us right now, in a lot of people, is both fear and excitement about the coming week. And it works out really well that I decided at the beginning of the month, or before the beginning, that we were working on gratitude, forever gratitude. And my talk this morning is gratitude in times of challenge. You know, it's really easy to focus on being grateful for things when times are going well. You know, it's really easy. And yet, how do we maintain this gratitude during times that are difficult? And so this is what I want to explore with us today, is how do we use the power of gratitude to transform challenging circumstances? So when I'm looking at the idea of the election this year, in fact, Facebook is really interesting. It gives you your memories, you know, from last year and the year before and the year before and the year before. And this morning came up some memories from 2016, I believe it was, and the interesting things that we were going through then. And I thought, my goodness, you know, it seems like, in fact, you know, I'm sure that you've heard me for the past 10 years say something about that we're moving forward, we're moving upwards, we're moving into a greater level of consciousness than ever before. And yet, one thing after another, whether it be, tsunamis or hurricanes or, politics or whatever, just keeps happening. And we keep thinking, well, I keep thinking, it's like, wait a minute, this is not supposed to be happening. We're moving into, I'm hoping that our collective consciousness is rising us up. And yet, there's a thing that keeps coming to me about how just before things get really good, and I've said this before over and over again, they get really bad. And it's like, all right now, I'm done with that belief system. I'm absolutely done with it. So when we're in challenging times, for instance, like this particular election period, it can be really difficult to stay grounded and to stay calm and to stay in gratitude, especially when you have relatives or friends that you're going, what? It doesn't make sense. And then they give you the same story over and over and over again, different people. It's like they've got something to memorize, and this is what they're supposed to say. And it seems like we're facing so much uncertainty. And yet when I'm thinking about it, there's nothing really certain ever, is there? I mean, you could walk out and a lightning bolt could hit you and life would be over. The banks could all decide that they're not going to do their job anymore. There's all kinds of things that can happen at absolutely every moment. And what happens for us is that we feel like there's external circumstances controlling our lives. But that's not true. Because whether it's political decisions or life's personal challenges, what I know is that the temptation to fall into fear and to fall into frustration is really, really strong. It's like we're raised on fear. Think of this. You have, those of you who've had children, probably one of the words they heard first was no. No, you can't touch that. No, you can't talk to those people. No, you can't get in anybody's car. No, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. And so that no brought with it fear. And until we realize who we really are, spirit in form, we're going to be using, those same feelings that we got in the beginning are going to keep rising up. So my idea is that we should choose gratitude instead. So one of my things that I've been grateful for was, boy, I'm glad I don't live in the world you do. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the TV. I'm so glad I don't live in that world where America's going to hell in a handbasket and everybody's rapists and, all these different things. So great, what if we all chose gratitude instead? What if we stopped focusing on what's wrong and turned around and decided to focus on something to be grateful for? Regardless of what the political situation is right now, I'm grateful I live in America. I could be living in a country that doesn't have the same beliefs in freedom, etc., that we do, or that we say we do. What if we allowed ourselves to be grateful for watching the world change? And instead of reading and listening to the doomsayers, we really believed that what's happening is that everything that needs to drain away so that we can be rising up is happening. It's really hard sometimes to be grateful for the challenges in our lives. And yet, in those challenges, in every single challenge we have, are seeds of transformation. So I would rather focus on planting those seeds even more fully in my mind and in my heart than yelling at the television. In fact, I've been turning it off, except for Monday nights, because I like Rachel Maddow. So here's the trick. We know that what we focus on expands. So I've had to ask myself over and over again, what in the hell am I focusing on? Instead of the good things that are happening around us. In fact, I've found this website, or whatever you might call it, podcast. It's not a podcast, it's more of a video cast. Stories that are good about humanity from all over the world. And I thought, this is what I want to be focusing on. This is absolutely I want to focus on. So I want to choose gratitude. And I'm going to do what my foster mother told me when I was 16 years old and had run away and done all that kind of stuff and ended up in a foster home. She said, count your blessings every night before you go to bed. Count your blessings. And, Louise Hay talked to us about counting our gratitudes, writing down gratitudes. Lots of teachers. In fact, the lady that wrote E Squared has now got a new book that's called, instead of Think and Grow Rich, it's Thank and Grow Rich. And apparently it's got some really good stuff on it. Somebody mentioned it, one of the other ministers mentioned it online, and I immediately went to look at it and ordered it because it looks like it's going to be a great book.
Who's the author?
I don't remember what her name is.
Is it
Pam Grout. Yeah, that's right, Pam Grout. Yeah. It's called Thank and Grow Rich, and it's available through Amazon. So, by choosing gratitude, we direct our attention to the blessings, however small they are, and we open the door for more good to show up. So Ernest Holmes teaches that gratitude is a way to shift our consciousness, not to deny the challenges. I'm not asking anybody to say, oh, I have a challenge with my body, or I have a challenge with my finances, or I'm having a challenge with the country, whatever. But to rise above those with a higher awareness, a higher consciousness of the divine. So what I want us to do as we move through this election period is to remember that the collective energies, the collective emotions, the collective priorities of people shape the outcome. And I firmly believe there are more people who want to move forward instead of backwards. I firmly believe that the polls suggest one thing, but the truth is another. It's actually in the hands of everybody that shows up. And so I'm going to ask you that if you're undecided about voting or think that it won't do any good, do it anyway. Make sure you do it anyway. If anybody needs a ride to the polls, I will provide it, because I think that we're in one of the most important periods of our country. And it's something that needs to be done. What else do I have on here? How come my paper won't come apart? Did I leave the other one in there? No. There's two pieces of paper. Ah, there we go. So the universe, why are you doing that to me? What am I supposed to say instead? So I think that what a good idea for all of us to do this week or through Tuesday, and however many days it takes to count the votes, is to get an idea in our minds of what we would like to see in our country. Start imagining. What if everybody had housing? What if everybody had single-payer insurance? What if everybody had, what if they changed the rules around the election period so it doesn't start the day after they get into office? You know, living in Canada for 10 years taught me a lot of things. I paid $56 a month for medical insurance. 56. And my friends who live in British Columbia right now don't pay anything. They have a high sales tax, but their insurance is totally covered. I mean, with that $56 when I was living there, it covered any visit to the doctor, 12 massages, 12 chiropractor appointments, 12 therapy sessions, and lots of other stuff. And we could have that here. Also, the election period, the prime minister would call an election, and they had 90 days. 90 days to get out there, and they stood in a lot of street corners with groups, with signs and waved hands and all that. And the TV commercials were free. They didn't have to pay billions of dollars to have a TV commercial. And they could only spend a certain amount of money, which I think, especially this year, should have been a law a long time ago. So think about these ideas. What if it was like that? What if we weren't so focused on how much money was being spent on things or how much money it would bring in, etc.? What if we were focused on everybody living a happy life? Everybody having enough food, everybody having housing, everybody having everything that they need. You know, it gets to a point, I've done enough prosperity things over my life that I feel really prosperous. And it gets to a point where you don't need as much. When you feel really prosperous, you don't feel like you really need that much anymore. You know, I mean, yes, I do buy new things all the time. But I don't really, it's not like, oh, I have to have this or I have to have that. It's just something, oh, because I want to. What I know is that as we allow ourselves to have a vision of a better future, the energy of our nation, with all its hopes, its fears, its desire for change, flows together, creating an outcome that reflects the collective current. And if you think that there's only a few of us here, we can't make a difference, that's not true. We can make an amazing difference by changing our thinking and changing our lives. You've heard that one, right? So let's be grateful for the opportunity to witness the process and to hold the space for something larger to happen. Let's be grateful for the opportunity to trust in the unfolding and to remember that the truth is there's only one life, that life is God's life, and that life is happening through each and every one of us. And it's happening according to our predominant beliefs and our predominant feelings. That's where we have the work to do. What am I believing in? What am I predominantly thinking? What am I predominantly feeling? That's what the universe is going to give us more of, because its only word is yes. So I have some little tools for you to do this week. You could do it all this month, actually. I was going to make this really neat little journal and give it out, and then I thought, nah, too much photocopying. Too much paper being used. So there's gratitude journaling. You've heard me talk about journaling 5 gratitudes every night before I go to bed. I've been doing that since Sarah Ban Brainock wrote the woman's book called Simple Abundance. And it is a wonderful tool to use to keep our mind out of the gutter, so to speak. Even during difficult times, find 5 things to be grateful for. Just recently, well, last year anyway, I was challenged, a bunch of us were challenged, to continue to do those 5 gratitudes every day, but they had to be different. They could never be the same. Now, that's a really interesting game to play, let me tell you. Because if you look back on my old journals, it's like, I'm grateful for my cats. Next day, I'm grateful for my cats. The next day, I'm grateful for my cats. Yeah, now I'm grateful for my cat sweater, right? So here's an affirmation for you. Gratitude affirmations are really important, as far as I'm concerned, in this particular atmosphere. Here's one. I am grateful for all that is, and I trust in the good that is unfolding. You can make it as short as, I trust in the good that's unfolding. Because there is something happening here that's much greater than we imagine. And to be grateful for the process. So gratitude journaling, gratitude affirmations, and gratitude for the process. So rather than being focused on the outcome of events, such as the election, express gratitude for being part of the process and for the learning and growth that come with it. That's the real challenge I want to give to you this week, in the next few days. Find something to be grateful for about this process. Even though the news people want to tell you something different, etc. Find something to be grateful for in this process. So I have a closing affirmation for you that's different than the one we'll have up there. But this goes along with this idea of gratitude for times and challenging times rather. I'm grateful for every challenge, for I know it brings growth and strength. I am grateful for the collective energy shaping the highest good, and I remain centered in peace and gratitude. I'm grateful for every challenge, for I know it brings growth and strength. I trust in the collective energy shaping the highest good, and I remain centered in peace and gratitude. And let's take that into treatment. How grateful that I am to be able to be part of a collective consciousness that is raising the energy, raising our spiritual energy to a higher level at every moment. How grateful I am to be able to have the choice to move from complaining to judging, from judging, complaining and judging and all that kind of stuff, into this place of being grateful. Maybe first and foremost for being grateful for being alive. Alive at this time of amazing change. Grateful for being part of the process of change. And I know without a shadow of doubt, whether it's something that I have been feeling in my personal life negatively about, or whether it's in the election process, or our country, or our planet, or whatever it might be, I can now let that go, recognizing that it was, and that I have the power to change it. And so I celebrate this power. I know it's divine power. And that power, its only word is yes. So I declare that we're living in a peaceful world, a world that is doing its best to promote harmony, to promote peace, to promote well-being. And as I know these things, the universe instantly begins to work on it. I know that it's my belief that creates my universe. So I choose to believe that there is a higher good working here. And what we're moving into is something amazing. No matter the results of anything, what we're moving into is something amazing. Amazingly good. And I know this because I know that that power that we've been talking about is the power of love. And that power of love is infinitely intelligent, as well as unconditionally loving. And so I celebrate that. I remember that I am a God being, and I get to choose constantly. And so I choose life and all of the wonders of that life. And so I celebrate all of us as we move out into this week, knowing the highest and best for absolutely everything. And once again, I use this affirmation. I am grateful for every challenge, for I know it brings growth and strength. I trust in the collective energy shaping the highest good, and I remain centered in peace and gratitude. So with a grateful heart, I release these words into this infinitely intelligent law that knows exactly what to do with them. And I'm grateful, absolutely grateful. And so it is. So Susan is writing our affirmations this month, so let's say this together. As I live in a vast creative universe, I give thanks for being totally aware that there is always a greater possibility for good in every situation. I am so thankful for knowing that Spirit is always with me as a guide and a comfort. And so it is. And the Center's Ensemble is performing for us this morning, so let's give them a hand.
And so, I am forever grateful that this song demonstrates we can get where we want to go one step at a time, one day at a time, one brick at a time. All you have to do is start. And it's helpful if you finish, too. And I'm also grateful for this ensemble. Claudia there on the end has been in a religious science, science of mind, Centers for Spiritual Living ensemble for about 25 years now, and I'm grateful for that. And Jackson.
Step up there, Jackson.
The Lord gave each and every one the strength to do what can't be done, the brawn, the brain, the courage, and the heart.
The strength to bend the strongest bar, the will to reach the farthest star. It's just a case of learning how to start.
To build a tower up so high to a cloud, you'll anchor build it one tiny brick at a time. Bucks multiply till the bums of anchor just begin with the thin silver dime.
That empty field, it can yield miles and miles of flowers. You don't need no magic powers, just some seed
and showers from the floor to the skies. You can soar if you're wise enough to climb, one brick at a time. To build a ship that's built to last, they lay the keel and raise the mast. An ode begins with just a simple rhyme.
An oak with ribs and pile beneath becomes a sting to pick your teeth. Just sharpen up your knife and take your time.
One stalwart chap with a cup and a bunch of hours, he can scoop all the salt from the sea.
Buds open up, turning boughs to bowers, all begun with just one bumblebee.
Two road witty symphonies, or at least cantati, filled with trills and obligati, start with la, sol, la, ti.
The rest in the dust be the best if you just begin to climb, one brick at a time.
Just take a brick and place it on the ground to make it stick. Pour mortar all around, a cup of lime, then stir until it's hard, and up she'll climb, by inch, by foot, by yard. A sill, a door, a ledge, a window pane, then drill some more, raise up a weather vane, a roof, the roof, that going slow like this, a splendid edifice can climb,
One brick at a time. To build a tower up so high to a cloud, you'll anchor build it one tiny brick at a time. Bucks multiply till the bums a banker just begin with a thin silver dime. That empty field, it can yield miles and miles of flowers. You don't need no magic powers, just a seed and showers from the floor to the sky. You can soar if you're wise enough to climb, one brick at a time. One brick at a time.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
We're taking it on the road next week.
One road at a time. Yeah. That was jaunty and playful. That was delightful. Thank you, ensemble. Now we are going to share our gifts. So what we'd like you to do is the plates are going to go around. Please put whatever you can into it. Certainly always put love into the plate. There'll be somebody who would like to help Donna. She's only one person looking for one plate at a time. Here we go. All right, so together we will read together the affirmation, and then the plates will go around, the band will play. Together we say, I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses this giver, all in it and beyond. And so it is. Forward a little bit. And there's more. Just keep coming.
Just bring it on.
I am grateful for the knowledge and the belief that everything is one energy, that there is no division between me and you or anyone else, and everything expressed is of that energy, including these gifts. And knowing that there is only one energy and these gifts are of that energy, they are going out into the universe, and knowing that we only get what we can give, I am grateful for all that we are giving and all that we believe, and knowing this is helping our community, our state, our country, and the entire world. For that, I release these words into the law of mind and say, and so it is.
So it is.
Thank you. Okay, we got a few minutes here. A reminder that this is the first Sunday of the month, and so there will be a potluck in the other room. If you would like to meet with a practitioner to talk about whatever, the practitioners who are here today are Michele, myself, Susan, and I guess that's it. And Claudia, are you? No, okay. So the three of us, if you'd like to meet with us, we would be glad to talk with you about whatever crosses your mind. It is also Birthday Sunday, so if your birthday is in November, and apparently there are many, we would like you to please stand. We have flowers for you, and we will all sing loudly and off-key a happy birthday for you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear November birthdays. Happy birthday to you. Burl. Lance gets the plastic bag they all came in. Wow, there are a lot of birthdays in November. All right, we're going to do the community statement of inclusion in a moment, but we got another couple of minutes. So if you would have a demonstration that you would like to share, and to remind you what a demonstration is, it is something that you have put into the law of mind, you have hoped for it, wished for it, thought about it, felt it, and it is manifested now into this plane. And we'd like a brief demonstration, and James, you have one?
This one's kind of like, goes along with my Course in Miracles. I had a problem with my car, and I got all upset at the car dealership and I left there really angry and really upset. And I called Brian, and he helped me get through it that day. But Carol and I went up to Crescent City, and the car, something happened to it. And I realized I hadn't forgiven myself for being angry at everybody there. And I was never going to go back to that place. But it was something they did, and I needed to let them address it. So on Tuesday, my Course in Miracles was, the Holy Spirit speaks through me. So I decided to go down to the car dealership. And as I was praying before I went down there, I went in and I talked to the secretary. And she was so nice, extremely nice. Took all this information, asked me everything that happened, and wrote it all down. And then called the service manager, and I had to wait for him to come. And when he came, he invited me in his office. And we talked about everything. But he understood that some of it was not necessarily my fault, that they needed to change a few things in their way too. But I felt like I had forgiven myself for what I had done and let it go. To me, that's a miracle. And it was like the car, the universe just said, you got to go back and you got to take care of it. And so I did. Thank you.
Sheree?
As most of you know, I've been sick a really long time. I've gone through the wheelchair, the walker, and I don't need any of them anymore.
I will still help you step down.
I love that.
I got a short
Short?
thing.
It's yours.
I've always been short. But I love it. No, the Halloween, you know how you get this warning? I almost died about 5 years ago on Halloween. I had a cyst in my throat. And I tried to chew one of those small, and it got caught. If it hadn't, my mom hadn't known the Heimlich maneuver, I'd have been dead on Halloween. But God was there with me the whole time, and I felt like I could live. And then this Halloween, I think there was a sign there because my phone died. It died on me. I went to use it and I couldn't use it. So that's a suggestion. Do not do Halloween anymore. So I won't do that no more. But God has been there for me through thick and thin, and I appreciate him and I love him very much. And I will not turn my back on him ever, ever, ever again, because this 2 years and 2 months I've been clean and sober, and I'm proud of myself, and I just wanted to share that.
Okay, we're going to have someone do the community statement of inclusion. I want to do my brief demonstration here. 5 years ago, when I was 65, I got this crazy idea that each time I get a good health report for my yearly checkup, I never had one, but I would get a tattoo, and every year that I would add to it. This Tuesday, all the way. So it's in the itchy stage, but this is 5 straight years, every year adding to it. If I keep staying healthy, I'm going to have the whole right side of my body covered pretty soon. But that is my affirmation. So just wanted to share that. And this time I also got to have my son sit there with me, which was very nice, and go through it with me. Okay, who would like to read our community statement of inclusion? If you haven't read it, it's a great fun thing to do. It brings people together. And speaking of our statement of inclusion, when Angelica was talking about our vision, if you haven't read our global vision, which is on the wall, which stands for what we stand for, stop and, whether you do it right now or you leave, it's really a wonderful, beautiful, holistic, spiritual statement, and it's worth reading and bringing in once in a while, if not all the time. All right, who do we have to do our community statement of inclusion? Brian, it's yours, and then your wife will lead us in song.
All right, very good, thank you. I thought your tattoo was a henna tattoo.
No,
it's for real.
It's in the itchy stage. It's for real.
All right, good to see all of you. We, the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, are a community that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusion, champions inner work, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. We are a community that honors the unique emanation of God that each person embodies and advocates with people for human rights and dignity for all. We are a community that blesses each other, sees sacredness in all life, remains learners and listeners so that we may grow together, and understands that oneness is not sameness. Join me. We know our beloved community is revealed more fully when we love each other well. All right.
Please stand and join the circle, and we will sing the peace song together. All right, well done. Spread it out. Everybody take a step to your left, and then you'll... So Zoomers, this is what it takes to make a circle out of persons in this center.
We're kind of a heart.
And we're good.
Jackson. Thank